Hey guys, this is Daniel. This is video number 2 about Purim, and if you didn't listen to video number 1, it's a good idea, and also you can get familiar with the story of the book of Esther. If you're not familiar, you can either read it or read a synopsis. I'm sure you can find online, or ask ChatGPT to give you kind of 10 highlights of the story, so you understand what is going on. Now, I gave you a background story for the book of Esther, and we're talking here about Haman, the bad guy in the story, and he is the direct descendant of Amalek, the enemy that attacked Israel in the desert, and later on a few times in history. And on the other side you have Mordechai and Esther, two cousins. Mordechai was the head of the Sanhedrin in Israel, very elevated, very unique, special person, very powerful. And then the two forces kind of clash. Haman wants to destroy all the Jewish people in the kingdom of Ahasuerus in Persia, 127 countries, and Mordechai figures out a way how to defeat Haman. So what happened is there is a decree to annihilate and massacre every Jewish person in the kingdom of Ahasuerus in Persia. And I'm talking men, women, and children, everyone. And not only that it didn't work out for Haman, but he was defeated. He was hung on the tree that he prepared for Mordechai, and everything turned around. So the terrible decree and the fear and the darkness that Haman awakened ended up with a holiday of Purim, with a holiday that we're going to celebrate every year until the end of times. So interesting, the story is very interesting, but here we learn very essential things about life, about our spiritual work, and things that we can change. We can actually change right before Purim, this coming Thursday. So, Haman and Mordechai, two forces, the force of Amalek and the force of Israel. Force of Amalek is any negative force that we know in our lives and in the books that we read, negative force that create a disconnect us from God, from the light of God, and from the higher true self, our true identity. Who are we? And this, we need a reminder. Who are we? So each one of us has these two forces inside. And the reason why the sages explain why do we need to read the book of Esther and celebrate Purim 2,000 years after Haman doesn't exist and Amalek is not around anymore. Why do we need to read it? And not only that, but the Shabbat before Purim, actually last Shabbat, yesterday, we had Shabbat Zachor, that it's a mitzvah from the Torah. It's a precept, one of the 613 precepts, to erase the memory of Amalek. So we read from the Torah a passage that talks about remember what Amalek did to you, etc. and so on. So I want to give you a background, quick, two stories. One is the creation of Adam and Eve. I'm making a long story short. God put them in Garden of Eden to enjoy the garden, enjoy the fruits of the garden. Just don't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay, Adam, the fall of Adam and Eve, God is coming to check on them, to see what happened. He said to Adam, what did you do? Why did you eat from the fruit they told you not to eat from? And Adam says, it's not me. She gave it to me, Eve. The woman that you gave me. Okay, God goes to Eve. What did you do? You knew that you were not supposed to. And she said, it wasn't me. Hanachash hishiani. The snake made me. Okay. And then God turned to the snake and gave him a very juicy curse. And then he goes to Eve, and then he goes to Adam. So the choice of word that the Torah uses, Eve says, Hanachash hishiani. It's a word that exists once in the Torah, and we never, ever use it in Hebrew. We don't use it. What does it mean? It means he made me. The snake made me. Hishiani. Many years later, the children of Israel are leaving Egypt, and they go, they go from one place to another, 42 places altogether. They get to the place called Refidim. Refidim, the commentator said, comes from the word Rifyon Yadayim. They were tired. Spiritually, they got tired, and they had challenges and were not sure about. And they got there, and immediately there is no water. Moses, what's going on? No water, and we're tired, and we don't know anymore. And they say in the end, Moses called the place a place of fight, verbal fight with the Israelites, because they were trying to understand, is God really with us or not? But again, the choice of words of the Torah, Hayesh Hashem Bekirbenu, is God with us, Hayesh, Im Ayin, or maybe not. Yesh and Ayin. You take these two words, God with or not, you put them together and you get the same letters of that strange word that Chava uses, the snake made me. So of course, Eve didn't take responsibility, she blamed it on the snake, but the point is that they had a doubt about their connection with God. And the Torah doesn't say is God is with us, Ayesh Hashem Bekirbenu, is God inside us or not? So our true identity, the power of Israel. Israel is a force. Israel is not a religion, it's not a nation. Israel is a force. We call it in Hebrew, in Kabbalah, Mochin de Gedlut. That's the ultimate, the highest connection we have for the higher self, for our true identity. You can call it the soul, our soul, the neshama. And so we're not connected all the time, it's kind of going back and forth, and that's the force of Amalek. Amalek is here to disconnect, to create disconnect. It brings us to the physical world and convinces us that this is life, this is it. We have to struggle to make a living, and then if it's health issues, relationship issues, our connection with God issues. So these two forces are alive and exist, and we make choices. We make choices. It's very easy to forget our true identity, that our soul comes from a very, very high place in the upper worlds. Now, another interesting fact, that's the second story, that when Parashat Beshalach, portion of Beshalach, when Pharaoh sent the Israelites out of Egypt, so he says, Vayi Beshalach Paro, when Pharaoh sent them out, and God did not guide them through the land of the Philistines. So he didn't guide them through that land. Why? Because he figured if they're going to get discouraged, they're going to see some violence, some war, and they would want to go back to Egypt. So he took them kind of around that land. But here, the Ohev Israel, great Kabbalist, explains that God did not guide them through land of Philistines, land. So the Eretz, again, choice of words. Eretz. Eretz means physical land. Eretz means the experience we have every day from this world, the physical world. And since God didn't want to bring them down to that level, to the level of physicality, the laws of physicality. Now, just a quick reminder, just before coming out of Egypt, they had the 10 plagues. The 10 plagues, the blood, the frog, the lice, the bad animals, the darkness, the slay of the firstborn. So 10 plagues. Everything was miraculous. For the Egyptians, it was a horror. Every day going through these plagues. And for the Israelites, the people of Israel in the land of Goshen, life was good. They had everything. They had light. They had all the sustenance, food, and everything. So that was the 10 plagues. When they came out of Egypt, there were many miracles that happened on the way, but the main thing is they were guided with a column of fire during the night and a column of cloud during the day. They had a guide. They knew exactly where to go. Everything was miraculous. The camp of the children of Israel, the camp was one big miracle. No enemy could harm them inside the camp. The laws of physicality didn't function the same way, so they walked for 40 years and the shoes were brand new all along the way. The body was preserved. They didn't have any sickness, any problems like this of the physical world. So God had the agenda was to keep the children of Israel in the level of Israel. Everything is one big miracle. That was the destiny of the Israelites, and of course they messed up few times until the what they call the fall of the spies. And so the point is that we come to the world. The Sfat Emet, another great Kabbalist, says that we are all spies. We come, the spies that Moses sent to check the land of Israel before they went in. So each one of us is a spy. We come to the world on a mission, and we come from the place of Israel. We come from the highest place ever. We have it inside us. Now, when you come to the land as a spy, you have challenges. You have to deal with all kind of obstacles and doubts that awaken. The doubt that we have is only about one thing. It's about a relationship with God or the relationship with our true identity. So, again, here Purim brings about these two forces. The force of Amalek. The force of Amalek is that force that comes all the time. It's not about Haman, and it's not about Amalek in the desert. It's about our lives today, and all the thoughts we have, the doubts. Am I good enough? Should I do this? Should I do that? It is true that we should be spiritual, but what if I give away? What about me? Who's going to take care of me? So we don't feel free to give and to share and to open up and to create good relationship. So this is the Amalek, and the Israel is promised, is a given. All you need to do is just remember who you are. And this is the holiday of Purim. The holiday of Purim is designed that we can actually eliminate the Amalek. But again, to eliminate Amalek, you don't have to kill all the bad guys, not at all. And there is a trick that we do with the Shabbat before Purim and that we do during the holiday of Purim. So stay tuned and we'll continue in the third video. Take care.